Hello, welcome to LOCKBEARD Random Live, number 70, The Bigger Man. It's April 3rd, 2022. What's up? See Judy in the chat. Welcome. Um, just been following the story here, and I mean, get a few little more details coming out about that situation. Chris Rock had to make a decision real quick when that happened, right? Because if he responded violently, then everyone would criticize him for that. And I'm sure somewhere in his thinking, he realized that. And on the other hand, I wouldn't have blamed him if he did. I wouldn't have. I mean, shit like that kind of deserves a response. So he probably made the right decision, but he's just pride to think about. His pride's he's gonna have to swallow it a little bit, and he probably already has. And Scotty's in the chat. Welcome, Mr. Hugh. Welcome. What's up? Short little clip here from People.
Chris Rock continues to keep things positive. On Thursday, the comedian returned to Wilbur in Boston, following two stand-up shows the night before, during which he broke his silence about the Academy Awards. Rock took the stage on Thursday, dressed in an all-white ensemble, much like the night before, and he began his set by once again addressing his altercation with Will Smith, in which Smith smacked him after Rock made a joke about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. However, at this particular show, an audience member yelled, "Bleep Will Smith." Rock, who did not engage with hecklers the night before, responded this time around by immediately shutting it down, saying, "No, no, 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 no." At a show on Wednesday, the comedian's first since the Oscars, he explained to the crowd that he was still processing what happened over the weekend. He also noted that he hadn't spoken to anyone, despite what people might have heard, seemingly addressing the fact that he hadn't spoken to Smith, despite reports earlier that the pair made amends. On Friday morning, Oscars producer Will Packer appeared on Good Morning America, sharing that he thought Smith's slap was a bit like everybody else. He went on to reveal that Rock didn't want Smith physically removed from the awards show after the altercation, and that the Los Angeles Police Department was ready to arrest the actor if Rock wanted to press charges. Two stand-up shows the night.
Yeah, people are cussing Will in the audience, and he's shutting them down. Definitely being the bigger man. I got another clip here from this is the Good Morning America clip.
We're going to begin with that big ABC News exclusive interview with Will Packer, the lead producer of Sunday's Oscars ceremony, speaking out publicly now for the first time about that behind-the-scenes chaos after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on stage.
From Rock's stunned reaction to the LAPD saying they were ready to arrest Smith on the spot. He spoke with our TJ Holmes, who joined us now to fill us in. Good morning, TJ.
This is fascinating, guys. Now, we have heard, of course, from Will Smith. He put out a statement. We've heard from a couple of the hosts. We heard from the Academy letting us know that they have an investigation underway. But now we're hearing from a guy who was in charge of the entire broadcast. Will Packer was sitting right there just off stage when this moment took place. His reaction was the same as millions across the country. Confusion initially. It was followed by chaos and then conversations about what this thing was and the conversations many of us were having. Why was Will Smith allowed to stay in the room? Well, it turns out there was one person in particular, according to Will Packer, who was advocating for Will Smith to stay in the room. Chris Rock.
It sounds like Chris Rock had the ability, the option, to have the LAPD go arrest and remove Will Smith from that theater that night.
That's an absolute fact. The LAPD made it clear we will do whatever you want us to do, and one of the options is that we will go and arrest him right now.
Will Packer is breaking his silence, giving details about what happened backstage in the immediate aftermath of that Oscar night shocker when Will Smith walked into the stage and slapped comedian Chris Rock.
Will Smith just smacked the out of me.
That moment came after what we now know was an unscripted joke from Rock about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, who's recently been vocal about her battle with alopecia.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
You're sitting, monitors around. You tell me what's in your room around.
I said, watch this. He's going to kill. Because I knew he had an amazing lineup of jokes that we had. We had him in the prompter. And ultimately, he did not get to one joke. He didn't tell one of the planned jokes. He was just immediately freestyling. But I tell you, if there's anybody that you don't worry about going out in front of a live audience and riffing off the cuff, it's Chris Rock. Nobody's better.
But even as Smith made his way up on stage, Packer wasn't worried.
And I thought this was part of something that Chris and Will were doing on their own. I thought it was a bit. I thought it was a bit like everybody else. I knew we hadn't practiced it.
Not concerned.
I wasn't concerned at all.
As he's walking.
I figured, okay, you know, he's going to say something or come at him. Something funny is going to happen because that's the nature of Chris and that's the nature of Will. So let's see what happens.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth. I'm going to, okay?
Once I saw Will yelling at the stage with such vitriol, my heart dropped. And I just remember thinking, oh no, not like this. And Chris was keeping his head when everybody else was losing theirs. And then, you know, gave the quote.
That was greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
But my heart at that point was just in my stomach because of everything about it and what it represented and what it looked like and who was involved. All of that was just, I've never felt so immediately devastated like I did in that moment.
But it still wasn't until Rock walked backstage that Packer was finally convinced that Smith had actually struck him.
The winners are walking off stage. Chris is with them. And I immediately go up to Chris.
And you say what or you do what?
I said, did he really hit you? And he looked at me and he goes, yeah. He goes, I just took a punch from Muhammad Ali, as only Chris can. He was immediately, you know, in joke mode, but you could tell that he was very much still in shock.
It's fascinating to hear that you had a few minutes to try to process or understand what had just taken place. But not until Chris Rock came off stage, you still were not sure if he'd been hit.
I knew it was clearly a confrontational moment because of what was happening from Will in the audience, but I still wasn't sure that he had actually struck him. I made that clear, like, Rock, you tell me, whatever you want to do, brother. And he was telling me, I'm fine. Let's just get past this. I'm getting out of here. I can't believe this happened. The LAPD came and needed to talk to Chris. And so they came into my office and they were laying out very clearly what Chris's rights were. And they were saying, this is battery. We will go get him. We are prepared. We're prepared to get him right now. You can press charges. We can arrest him. As they were talking, Chris was, he was being very dismissive of those options. He was like, no, I'm fine. He was like, no. And even to the point where I said, Rock, let him finish. And they said, you know, would you like us to take any action? And he said, no. He said no. And I didn't have any conversation with Will.
But the Academy says they asked Smith to leave, which he refused.
A lot of folks immediately were wondered why he got up, walked that far, assaulted somebody, went back to his seat and was allowed to stay.
Right.
What was the conversation behind the scenes?
It happened to be right before the Best Actor Award. Shayla told me that they were about to physically remove Will Smith. And I had not been a part of those conversations. And so I immediately went to the Academy leadership that was on site, and I said, Chris Rock doesn't want that. I said, Rock has made it clear that he does not want to make a bad situation worse. That was Chris's energy. His tone was not retaliatory. His tone was not aggressive, angry. And so I was advocating what Rock wanted in that time, which was not to physically remove Will Smith at that time, because as it has now been explained to me, that was the only option at that point. It has been explained to me that there was a conversation that I was not a part of to ask him to voluntarily leave.
Will Smith later said on Instagram, "I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I'm embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be." When did you finally get a chance to touch base with Will Smith?
Will Smith reached out to me the next morning and said, and he apologized. And he said, you know, this should have been a gigantic moment for you. And he expressed his embarrassment, and that was the extent of it.
Now, Will Smith reportedly did apologize to board members in a Zoom call this week. They are going to make a decision. We expect sometime April 18th. Now, at the bottom of the hour, you're going to hear more in this interview, and you're going to hear how Will Packer really calls Chris Rock a hero for saving the day, not just from what you saw on screen, on stage, but also behind the scenes. He almost just single-handedly saved the day and save the Oscars. And you also hear how this was such a great night that was going for them, to the point they were almost in tears backstage. It was going so well.
Most amazing though is even the guy who ran the show thought in the first minute that it was a joke.
To the point, it took him forever until Chris Rock said, "I was hit." He didn't believe it.
And for Chris Rock to be able to hold it together, finish what he had to do, and then go backstage and keep it together, and
wow, unbelievable.
Hi everyone, George.
Yeah, way to go. Way to go, Chris Rock. Welcome to the chat. Brian and Chewy, Mark Dodman, Joe Parker, and Daily Dan. Greetings from South Carolina, he says. Greetings from the Empire, Dan. Yeah. So Chris Rock is going. Sounds like they're gonna feel like he's the hero of the night. He saved the show from. I mean, it could have been all jacked up, right? You know, cops walk in and arrest someone. It's gonna be just another level of disruption, and he prevented that as well. So, Joe says, "I have one thought. It tape delayed, so you wouldn't have seen anything if they wanted you to." Well, my understanding is like after he smacked Chris Rock, the sound cut out in the United States because of the delay. But I guess it was truly live elsewhere, so they couldn't, cut the sound for other people in the world. So they couldn't hide what with Will Smith yelling and all that good stuff. WWE move. Yeah. All right, we'll see you later, Mark. Rexanne's here. Welcome. So, I definitely, as you remember in the last one, I was kind of talking about, understanding the psychology behind why, how Will Smith arrived at that moment, right? Apparently he was hanging a bit by a thread and lost his head for a second there. If he, it wasn't, I don't think that's really who he is, like he's not, I don't think he's someone that would have just walked up but maybe, it's just, there's so much crap he's had to deal with that it was just kind of a perfect storm. And it's not Chris Rock's fault. It was a mild joke. And he was just doing his job. But, so, I don't know what can we learn from it, that, maybe, folks who have had to deal with some of the bullshit in the public eye, like Will Smith has, maybe, be more proactive about dealing with it, Like, I hate to say it, but I mean, he needs to not be with Jada. That's just the freaking reality. Chrissy's here. Welcome. She says, every damn bit was staged. No idea why, but this has fake news all over it for me. I don't think so. Unless someone can show me evidence of that, but everything that we've seen so far seems to support that it's legit. And why would they do it? Like, is their motivation to get people to watch the Oscars? Well, it doesn't help this year because, it's just a one time a year. And then of course next year, I'm certainly not more likely to watch the Oscars next year as a result of this, so I just don't see the percentage in it. I don't see what motivation they could have really to do it. It doesn't look good on them. It doesn't look good on Hollywood. So I think it's real, but Brian says, good show last night. Oh, there's a whole gaggle of people that disagree with that, but thank you. Yeah. So I just North Alabama commented about bringing up older stuff. I'm like, well, there was a history of doing that and indicating enough to me. I felt that we're dealing with a BS artist, and in that case, and I'm not willing to share the Bigfoot community space with bullshit artists. I just not. I think we need to go after every last one and remove them. Period. Like, just run them off. They need to go. We don't need BS up in here. We need facts. We need logic. If we want real people got to ask themselves, do you actually want answers, the true answers? Or do you want someone to tell you whatever story makes you feel good? Gary over here wants us to believe Sasquatch's name is Argo. So he's going to happily gobble up any kind of bullshit he sees on any bullshit channel that supports what he claims. He's not willing to offer any evidence because he hasn't got any. It's just bullshit that he wants to believe. So confirmation bias all the way around. And people are worried about running people off. Well, if someone's run off by us demanding facts, us demanding proof of things. That's not the people we need, is it? We don't need people that are willing to just accept any kind of fantasy bullshit they see over on Bullshit Odyssey or any of these other channels. That's not going to get us to the actual truth. Do you want the actual truth, or you don't want your bullshit fantasy fulfilled? Because you're not going to get your bullshit fantasy fulfilled here. That's for damn sure. Go to the fiction section. You know what I mean? And they'll try and throw all this shade at me, try to say I'm being divided. I'm not the one divided shit. Your ass is lying to me. Your ass is stealing shit. You're the ones that are hoaxing and doing all these things. I don't have to accept this bullshit. So don't try to, shame me into accepting bullshit. I'm not going to do it. Man, my connection must be shit. Rex says, sure boosted Chris Rock's ticket sales. Yeah. I'm sure he wasn't thinking about that till it happened. Well, maybe he was. I don't know. Patty, welcome. She says, I don't think Will wants to be in an open relationship. He's doing it for her. Everything is for her. Brandon McHugh says, it ain't over. Daily Dan says, you know how you can tell me I'm a wise man? I keep my opinions to myself. Yeah, probably a lot of times that is. Christy says, we'll see how it plays out. Yeah. One thing that isn't, if someone had told, the reality of spirits, Bigfoot, UFOs, all these things, even fairies, even the freaking fairies. That stuff's not playing out as far as evidence and proof, actual science. And I want those things. And I see these people standing in the way of that while also trying to make money off the entire subject. It's maddening. It is. Just like, a lot of scientists are bringing down these huge, massive government grants to conduct bullshit science experiments like CERN. They'll probably learn a few things from CERN, but they're so far off track with that shit. And I think they know damn good and well that they are. All they care about is getting the grant. They made their money, and all they got to do is say, well, we discovered a new particle, and how's the government really going to, they're going to like, well, we have to accept what these guys say. They're the foremost experts on it in the world. But they keep promising us we're going to be able to do such great things when we know a little bit more, so we got to keep funding it. Have them keep smashing together those non-existent particles. Brian says it was the right thing to do, no matter how old the past was. He had nothing to say after the second pick. Yeah, I don't know if did he already leave by then, or was he just like, okay, we're out? I mean, the reality is that if I had, if he hadn't deleted all his old pictures on his community tab, everything older than 5 months is gone. So, he covering his ass. He didn't respond very much to that when I brought that up. It's like, where's all the stuff? Why'd you Why would you delete everything that's older than 5 months unless it was just loaded with stolen pics? He'd probably been doing it for a long time. And got away with it because it's kind of hard to catch that unless you're a person who's familiar with the video that he stole it from and you happen to go to his community tab and see that. Okay, it's most people aren't going to catch it. And he's sitting there using other people's stuff and claiming it's his, stamping his name on it, and then trying to act like it was dude. When I share a pic I found somewhere, I don't put my name on it. I don't lighten the picture. I don't alter it, and I don't stick my name on it. What he was doing was trying to cover up the fact that he was stealing it and claim it as his own. And he's lying if he says different. And he's just mad because now he has to go take his own damn pictures. If he wants pictures that are his own. Dude, you can share stuff, but don't claim it's yours. Fair use, you don't even really have to say who. But you can't. You sure as hell can't say it's yours. I don't think you would have to have even credited her or any of the ladies involved. That would be, the right thing to do is credit everybody, but he took it a step too far, and he was claiming it was his. And everyone that does that shit needs to be swept away and confronted. If we don't confront them, they keep doing it. And they keep filling the internet full of so much stuff that's just stolen. Some of it, and some of the stuff that's bullshit too. That stuff's, they're filling the internet with bullshit. So we got to tackle the bullshit. We got to tackle the stolen material. Somebody's got to fight the battle against this stuff so that we aren't just full of a billion images online that are just not what they're supposed to be, or not what, either they're not real or they're stolen or something. And if they're stealing pictures, what's their motivation? It's for his gain somehow, monetarily or attention or whatever it is he wants. But what I want is the damn truth. And people like him are fogging things up where I'm having a hard time getting to the truth. So, yeah, I'm going to go after him. David Ann says, fairies wear boots. Now you got to believe me. I saw it with my own two eyes. Well, I'd have to see proof of that. Well, one, I don't know for a fact that fairies are real. I'm open to the possibility that they are, but I don't know that for a fact. Doesn't help things that there's been some people try to present fraudulent bodies of fairies in the past, so that doesn't help things. Those people should be taken out too, and called out for what they've done. Discovery and knowledge can't happen as easily if there's people doing that stuff. Brandon says, good point, Brian. Yeah, he was still fighting the battle pretty hard on the first one, but when Paula decided to, let's just show it. Thank her for that, by the way. And I was perfectly fine with the way things were going. Of course, LAB was going to be upset, and of course, North Alabama was going to show up and start crap. He was part of what pushed me to go ahead and do this. I was going to hold on to it till I had something more, or maybe not, because with just the one I could show, it was just kind of like, is it really worth it? But I'd already mentioned it, so I kind of locked myself in by even mentioning it. So, hey, let's do this, right? Tim Boy says, what's up, my people? What's up, Timmy? Your buddy Patrick Vaughn has me blocked now. Isn't that interesting? See, I'm using that now. That's now one of my indicators that someone is full of shit. If they block me, probably full of shit. All right. See, now I'm all in on this shit. I'm all in. Well, and I commented that in that live stream too. I was like, well, I mean, if he's gonna block me, I get, because I was kind of holding back on my thoughts on Patrick Vaughn a little bit, but since he wants to block me, I guess all bets are off now. I mean, because he's indicated to me that he cannot defend his position in the slightest. And it's really not that crazy. I mean, it's just not even that big a thing. I hadn't really said anything too great about it, but the fact that he needs to try and isolate himself from me, that says something right there. Daily Dan said, do you listen to Black Sabbath? Right? Fairies wear boots. No, I'm not familiar with that. Sorry. Rex Hand says, Dan, did you see the Iron Man 2? The Iron Man 2. Well, yeah, I've seen that movie. What's that? Is that was that song played in Iron Man 2 or something? What's that got to do with anything? Team Boy says, imagine that. Yeah, imagine that. Batmom, Patrick Vaughn. Patrick Vaughn has blocked me where I can't see his comments. I guess I assume he can't see my comments as well. I don't know, but I confirmed that today that he has got me set, just like LIB had me set, where LIB couldn't see what I was saying. He disappeared me. And I'm guessing these guys' minds, they have canceled me, but I still can see their comments. I just got to jump over on my other account. And so I was reading it, and I saw where Patrick Vaughn basically said he wasn't dealing with the talking heads anymore. So I guess I'm a talking head now. Okay, great, whatever, dude. What you're really upset about is people are starting to kind of call you on the stuff you're saying. So that's what's going on. So Patrick Vaughn, sorry, dude, but you've indicated to me that that you probably are blowing a bunch of smoke, and I challenge you. You claim you got an equation, right? I saw you over on what's his name? I can't remember which one. You're on one of these podcasts saying, you got this equation. You got an equation. You're mathematical now. And you got the one knock method, whatever the hell that's supposed to be. Well, and you claim Iron Dogger has been able to replicate it, but Iron Dogger decided to jump off of Mogs and go over to Bullshit Odyssey, which is a known haven for bullshit artists. Known. We know this. It's a fact. It's a haven for bullshit artists. And so she's joined them. She's, a little act of betrayal from my perspective against the logical side, the people that want to keep it real. And so you're telling me this person has replicated your method. Well, let's see, if someone like Steenberg or or Pat or somebody, Joe, somebody else can replicate your method. How much you want to bet it doesn't come to pass? It could. You may have stumbled onto something, but the fact that you want to shut me out of any conversation with you and block me shows me that you can't defend shit. That's what that shows me. The only reason to block people is if you can't defend anything against what they're saying that you don't like. That's why you block. You have identified yourself as that, as someone who is full of shit. Sorry. I'd love to give you the benefit of the doubt, but you've indicated that by the blocking. You can't defend your bullshit. So, sorry, man. Bye. Nikki's here. Welcome. Team Boy says he hasn't on Pat's show since the moderator purge, right? As far as I know, I haven't seen him. Pat was pretty mad about things. Funny how that works, yeah. Daily Dan says, I wish I had $1 for every time I've gotten blocked. Rex Hand says, that's another Aussie song. Brian says, he hasn't even been on Pat's chat anymore. Yeah. Yeah. He as some people were way ahead of us on this, Timmy Boy. Timmy Boy. So, what it appears that we had was someone who was full of it. In order to gain legitimacy, had latched himself onto one of the logical Bigfoot channels, which is Squatch Talk, one of the ones that tries to keep it real. This guy, you're always going to have that type, right? Where they're not going to go start their own channel. What they're going to do is show up on channels that are thought of by others in the space as the ones that keep it real, the ones that are logical. They don't run off into a bunch of like woo nonsense that doesn't have any evidence. So he swam in the waters to try to gain some of that legitimacy for himself. Oh, he was on Squatch Talk. He's probably pretty legit, right? Maybe not. Maybe not. Chris says they just hating. Yeah. The Bat Mom says, is it easy to change your own oil? I need to change my oil. Never done it though. Got to go buy the stuff for it. Well, by the time you get done with it, you'll probably be like, I could just, what does it cost to do an oil change these days? $60. You probably think, well, it's probably easier to do that. And then you got to dispose of it, and you're going to spend whatever time it takes you to do it. And whereas you're in there in one of those quick oil change places, you're in there now, they're real quick, and they take the old oil, and you don't have to think about going and buying oil and oil filter and all that stuff. It's just, you just roll in, roll out, boom, done. It's not hard, but Daily Dan says, Iron Man, the song Black Sabbath 74, also theme from the movie. Team Boy says, because he banned people without Pat's approval. Yeah. Well, I don't know about the other people. I know that Nikki said she was the one that banned Raptor. Man, Raptor pushes it though. I don't know what Raptor's deal is. Like, he always says stuff in such a way to I swear this is a lost in translation situation where he's from a culture that communicates in a way that we find like just offensive or something. Something is not right with the way he words shit. And it always happens, and he ends up upsetting people. And I'm like, dude, why did you say that? Like, why did you word it that way? Like, everything he says just doesn't sound right somehow, and I can't really put my finger on the words to explain, because it's like it sounds like you're trying to make digs all the time is what it sounds like you're doing. You're trying to make little digs all the time. So I keep telling him to stop, but I don't think he understands that that's what it sounds like to us. I think he just doesn't. I think he doesn't understand. I guess I don't know. Nikki's trying to get the show ready. She's going to be live in an hour and 17 minutes. Stop to make dinner. Timmy Boy wants to know, what are we cooking? Hopefully you guys are viewing me. I appear to have a delay, like the audio and the video isn't syncing up, and the chat's acting all kinds of wonky, and I don't know what the deal is here. Brian says, yeah, Timmy, I didn't even know about him on that other channel from a while back. Batman says, no one is freaking open, nor will they do walk-ins. Oh, for the oil change? Are you in one of those areas that are still all freaked out about the so-called disease? Haven't had that kind of problem in these parts. Like most people, for the most part, nobody, they're like, whatever. We don't see people dropping dead in the street. We hear a lot of crap on the news. I mean, I think about half the people here are like, no, this is all a bunch of bullshit. Because we can't see the evidence ourselves. There's nothing they can show us that proves the claims. Hey, come up in my chat, motherfuckers, with proof. Can you show me any actual proof? Because I've been asking this since this shit's. Someone show me actual proof that something's this whole claim is real. And there's always, well, my doctor said, and blah blah blah, and some people want to believe whatever the government tells them, and they're a bunch of liars. Come on, the media is a bunch of liars. Why does people still believe this shit? I still roll up in the quick loops and get my oil changes, and never had a problem with it. I traveled all the way to Florida and back and never had to wear a mask once. Because I don't know. I guess us down in the South just kind of knew that there's nothing to worry about. In our opinion, there's nothing to worry about. Jesus, freaking Facebook or YouTube bullshit. Facebook too, but I ain't even trying to go on Facebook since this shit started. I mean, I have to sometimes because for communicating with other people, but I very rarely do I do it anymore. Freaking hate Facebook. Batman wants to re-gift my oil to my lovely neighbor. What are they using it for? Or are you like dumping it on the roses or something? Chessboard, welcome. He says, hello, Lockbeard and everybody else. What's up, man? Tim Boy says, Bigfoot Explorer. Watch those videos and tell me if you think he's a third generation tracker. So what is it, a show, Bigfoot Explorer? I guess I'm not familiar with it. And damn proud of it, says Nikki. What a fanning raptor. Chessboard says, Cheese Grater says hello to Brian and Chewy. Daily Dan says, can't watch tonight. Nikki, sorry, WrestleMania. I guess it's starting to sound like Daily Dan is a big fan of WrestleMania. Nikki says mac and cheese with bacon. Timmy Boy says anything with bacon will do, Nikki. Sandra Piper is here. Welcome. The Bat Mom says, no, I think it's that people are so lazy, none of them want to work because of employee shortages. Maybe. There's no reason why there should be employee shortages all of a sudden, but this whole thing's orchestrated, man. So freaking orchestrated. Harry Man says you're good, Dan. Ruthless says, oh, it's live. Yeah, it's live. Chessboard says, Ruthless, hey, hello there. Roo Buster. Flair said the Will slap was fake. I don't think it was fake. Chrissy does. Some other people out there do. But I don't. I just don't see the evidence for it. So yeah. So LIB is outed to a few more people. Debbie is as well, I guess. Hopefully a few people are thinking twice about listening to Bigfoot evidence analyst who helped someone cover up the fact that they stole evidence from other people. Yeah. How am I to trust? I don't care how close they are. Doesn't matter. Should have told her, said, no, we're not doing this. You're threatening the credibility of our entire channel. And it has with me. I don't watch it anymore for a reason. And that's it. Well, part of it. I feel like they entertain way too much bullshit. Ruthless says, with considerations, it wasn't staged or fake. Ruthless says the truth or wars continue. So what's your deal with truthers, man? You keep mentioning truthers. Like, why you keep bringing it up? You've got issues with truthers or what?
You're not making any sense at all.
Yeah. This internet's just jacked up today. I don't know what the hell. I mean, it was yesterday too, wasn't it? How's things, Lockie, says Ruthless? Well, they're fine. Truthers have varying levels. The woke folk. That mom says, okay, gotta go change my oil. I hope I don't take out the wrong plug. Have fun. Make sure you got a pan under it. Don't put your face under it. Sun is active, mate. So the sun's jacking up my internet. I think that flag was maybe doing it. so I took it down. Tim Boy says the channel is Bigfoot Explorer. He straight up got some people behind him, and after 6 months he moves to Pat's show and tried to do the same. Now he's gone from there. Well, where will he pop up next? So he latched on to someone else before Pat's show. Gotcha. Well, I mean, I guess it's good that we finally got that sorted out to some extent. And of course, there's going to be some people that still, forever, who will never really, they won't listen, they won't catch on, that we're probably dealing with another bullshit artist. Ruthless says, yes, very good chance Sun Cycle 25 as it's peaking and putting several things into effect.
You're not making any sense at all.
Yeah. I've decided that clip is your clip, Ruthless. That's your clip. This is Brandy's clip.
You remind me of the babe.
Everybody gets a clip. I'm not sure which one should be Mr. Lee 3PO's. Should be.
Here's $50.
Ruthless says, I thought that was rather succinct in what it stated, Earl. Oh, Brandy liked that. Yeah, that's Brandy's clip. Sander says, what's my clip, Lockbeard? I don't know I don't know. I just got a bunch of them in here. Ruthless says, can't always fall back on to me making no sense to you, mate. Typos, damn it. Achaeos. Hey, at least I was able to decipher that in stride. See, just as you're starting to protest, you do it right there in the protest. Oh man. Yeah.
You remind me of the babe.
Ritha says, I'm my own worst enema. Cindy says, did we identify another fibber? I think so. I think Patrick Vaughn. Brandy says, Sander, we need a badass woman saying, watch your mouth. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we need something. Hello, Cindy. Welcome.
I wish to return to our old ways.
Could be that one. I don't know.
I'm surrounded by assholes.
Yeah. So what else we got to talk about today? Yeah. It sounds like Timmy has been keeping an eye on Patrick Vaughn longer than I have, because I don't remember when I first seen him, but I think it was on Squatch Talk. Yep, those Spaceballs. Hopefully the weather will get a little more favorable. It's decent temperature now, but it keeps still getting cold at night sometimes. He messed up when he did Alex's show. Yeah. I just don't know. I don't know. It's like there's nothing hard that we can really throw at him other than it seems like he's just making some stuff up. Like, and getting upset if you challenge, because like he's not open to, at least it didn't seem, an alternative explanation to he saw one disappear in front of him, or however he described that. Like, he's invested in that. He wants us to believe that he saw one. He wants us to believe they have a magical power, and cannot accept people challenging that assertion. So that's a red flag, like you need to be open. If you can't provide evidence, you've said something pretty damn fantastic, and you're going to get upset because people don't just buy it and believe something that fantastic. Can't you admit that the possibility is that it hid and you just didn't see it? You lost track of it, or something in the darkness or something? I mean, why does it have to be a cloaking situation? Or even how the hypothesis I have for people that think they saw something just disappear in front of them, that was something that I think that they just kind of went into a moment of shock mentally and kind of blacked out. Not falling down blackout, but they're just, so they have a moment of no memory there, and then the Sasquatch hides during that moment, and when they reboot, they're like, the thing's gone, and so they're thinking it disappeared, but it didn't disappear. You just kind of blacked out for a second because you were so shocked. And far more believable than it's cloaking. But he seemed to get upset at anyone challenging the cloaking claim. Chris says, do you think the Russian troops were really digging in the Red Forest? I don't know. It's hard to know. Stuff going on over there, and things coming out of Russia, like, we can't know. It's hard to know anything for sure. It's really hard. Chessport says, Lockbeard Mank made me so mad last night. If I could have gotten through the tube, I would have mopped the deck with his ass. What he did to you? Chris says, I've been seeing a lot of news reports on it, and that makes no sense to me. Why the fuck would they dig trenches in the Red Forest? They need all the troops they can get. The whole situation doesn't make any sense. That feels staged to me. That feels like the people. Look, there's some people in control of the world, and I think they arrange a lot of these conflicts. They called up Putin. They said, "Hey, Putin, we need you to start some shit over there for a distraction and some other stuff we want to do, and just roll into Ukraine." Putin's like, "Oh fuck, I gotta work. I'm just chilling over here. I got this pandemic thing that gives me an excuse to hide away from everybody because I don't want to talk to any of these assholes. And you want me to go to work right now? I'm old, man. I just want to chill. Wait till." And then he probably thought about it. So wait a minute. If I tell him to wait till the next leader of Russia, they'll probably have me offed. Actually, we probably should feel sorry for Putin. He's probably stuck in a situation where the moment he is no longer useful to the people in charge, the real people in charge, they'll make his ass disappear. Well, not disappear, just flat out, kill over. And they can make it look like a heart attack. That's not hard. They can totally do that. Or a stroke or whatever the hell they want to make it look like. They can give him cancer. So I think, I 100% think that's fake. That whole, I mean, it's real in the sense that they really are sending people to die, but it's a planned conflict, is what I think it is. Can't prove that though. Can't prove that. That would be most definitely suicide. Well, I mean, you look at a lot of these conflicts. He's like, you're sitting here thinking, okay, our leaders must be idiots. Some of the decisions they make, like pulling out of Afghanistan. What did you think was going to happen? Basically, we just handed over a bunch of U.S. hardware to the bad guys in Afghanistan. That's basically that was the end result of all that shit. So that now they can go on and kill a bunch more people. These people running the world want people out there just killing each other. The more killing, the happier they are. Whether it's just for population control or it's just to maintain chaos, so that while there's chaos going on over here, they're not paying attention to who's really pulling the strings of the whole damn act. It's all a big play. And so yeah, I mean, it's the troops are screwed, but the people running the world, that's what they want. I think that's what they want. I can't possibly fully understand what they're up to, but they got to have a threat out there, right? And if I had to guess, I would say they're not quite ready to roll out their sandbag in China over here, right? They want to be able to use that as the big baddie sometime in the future, but they don't want to roll them out just yet. They want to, get us prepped up a little more and wait until we're starting to question the whole damn story again on the Ukraine-Russian war, and then they might do that. Or they might roll out a new strain of the thing. Or they might cook up an alien invasion for all we know. If the government tells me we're being invaded by aliens, I'm instantly just not going to be able to believe it without some serious evidence. I'm going to think what we're looking at is government hardware coming at us, and they're claiming it's alien. Stage. It's going to be totally freaking staged. And then YouTube is going to retroactively take this video down and throw another strike on my channel because I said that just now. Oh, this is misinformation. These are real aliens attacking the planet. Kiss my... Look, there are so many things wrong with the whole scenario. It's just like Independence Day, that movie, Will Smith movie, where they're talking to the aliens talking through data. And and they're asking for peace. And the alien said it right there. The character on the damn peace movies, blah blah blah. Basically, the whole concept of alien invasion is just movies. Alien invasion, what we see in the movies, that shit's not going to happen. If aliens want our planet, they're not going to come in here and put themselves at risk and fight us and all this stuff. They can do all kinds of shit to us from space to wipe all our asses out. All kinds of shit. They can use biological weapons, chemical, all kinds of shit. They do not have to set foot on in our atmosphere at all to wipe our asses out. That kind of shit, aliens are not going to ever invade this planet like that. It's just not going to, it makes no logical sense. So just remember that when the government comes out and says it, because a lot of people think that they plan on using that particular, and we're being prepped for that, right? By them admitting to the UFO thing. Oh, well, there's UFOs, but we don't know where they're from. They want us to think that there is something technologically advanced out there and the government doesn't know what they are. And they want us to think that they're checking out our shit. And there may be some checking out our shit, don't get me wrong. But some of this stuff is government hardware, guaranteed. And they're going to use it to scam us again. Timmy Boy says he uses people for a while. He had an intro on Pat's show, but he screwed that up. Now Iron Dogger and him are perfecting his single knock theory. Hilarious. Well, maybe I need to, I don't know. Even if I go out and try his single knock, it's not even a theory. It doesn't qualify as a theory. Maybe you could call it a hypothesis. I may mainly just call it bullshit, or just a stupid guess. Maybe educated guess feels even strong. But if I go out and try it and it doesn't work, he's gonna say, "Well, the Bigfoot could sense your intentions." That's what they'll say, and they think they got a legit argument against the fact that I cannot repeat the results of his claim. So I guess I'll try. I do not want to be going out there knocking on shit to try, because they may very well communicate to that shit, and Patrick Vaughn may totally misinterpret what it means. A knock who knows what a knock means? Just like Bobo going out there hooting and hollering at the woods. For all he knows, that's a mating call. And the only thing saving his ass from getting mounted is that the Bigfoot comes to the edge of the clearing and peeks out to make sure it's somebody he's attracted to. And he's like, damn, that bitch has got mange. I don't want nothing to do with that. I'll catch the mange. Son of a bitch. It's a mess out here. Cindy says, but if he watched a group over 16 years, you would have way more than a hypothesis. Yeah, he's got a lot of claim. Put up something. Show, give us anything instead of just a bunch of claims. I'm a third generation tracker, and that's that. He uses that phrase all the time to establish authority. Well, if it's legit authority, but I have a feeling that there's no damn authority here. Perhaps the tracker business and the, I don't know what he said that's what he did before was survival school or something. Maybe survival school's having hard times. so like Survivor Man, he's had to jump over on Bigfoot. Because I'm not buying Survivor Man's bullshit either. It's just like those clips I showed you from Joe Rogan. The show was ridiculous, and he's looking to capitalize on the Bigfoot subject, which again, I'm perfectly fine with someone making money doing it. Like, if I was a botanist, well, I got to make money, so at least I get to do something I like to do, right? That's fine. The problem is when you're not actually doing it, you're just leeching off of it and not giving anything back to the science. Is there anything contributed to the science, the anthropological science of the Sasquatch people from Survivor Man? And I don't see shit. Jesper says, Chrissy, believe none of what you hear or read and half of what you see. Team Boy says, sorry, I didn't use any punctuation on the last comment. Rutha says, see Truth or Wars. Yeah, I mean, I know. It's just, Rutha says, everyone wants to be right. That's true. I mean, I've mentioned that before myself. You know, people say I'm wrong, and my position on that is, well, if I'm wrong, prove it, and prove to me what the correct stance is, and then I'll change my position on it, because then I can be right too, because I like to be right. But if you say I'm wrong, you need to fucking prove I'm wrong. and that's a rare delight, that is, these days. Ernie says, good evening, chat friends. Really enjoyed last night's show. Thank you, Ernie. And welcome to the chat. Rutha says, Vlad don't want their club running stuff next time. Vlad Putin? Huh? Lots of highs and hellos, and Rutha says every time US go in, they leave weapons behind. Yeah. Chessboard says, Ruthless, if you don't believe what they believe, then your belief is beyond belief. Sanders says, today has been good. Cindy wants your email, Timmy. Ruthless says, people running the world are good at seizing opportunity, it seems. They get help from the collective stupidity. Yes. Jay Fritz is in the house. Welcome. Chessboard says, Ruthless, don't forget the weapons they gave them before it started. Yeah, that too. So they get to thin out the numbers on both sides, and then they get some weapons over there. And then, of course, the American public is not keeping a tally. It's like, okay, how many Stingers did we give these people, and how many tanks, and how many rounds of ammunition? Do we have any reliable statistics on how much this shit was expended in the war? No, we probably don't. And so are we to believe that all 50 million rounds were used up, or is about half of that been absorbed by somebody somewhere to start some shit somewhere nearby there, or whatever? We don't know, but this is how, man, it's such a big scam, man. This scam is hard. And the moment they can't get away with the scam, though, this is a scary thing. The moment they can't get away with with the scam of all these foreign wars crap, they will create a war here. Because maintaining that illusion is part of how they're controlling us. And if they can't maintain that illusion anymore, then they can't control us anymore. And they can't have that. They will then have to exterminate us. So maybe it's a problem we don't want to solve, because solving it results in another much more deadly problem for us. Chrissy says, Def, isn't that what Project Bluebeam is supposed to be? Fake alien invasion or something? Perhaps. So some claim, I understand. Overdell for an Orson Welles type gig. Yeah. Two good guys. Space is fake. Earth is... I know you don't believe that. Jay says I greet him with whiskey shots. Ruthless says, or Cindy says, Ruthless, the young people don't know about that. I wasn't born, but I know what he did. Ernie says, you were great on last night's show, Timmy boy. Ruthless says, I wasn't born when the War of the Worlds first aired. Jay says, Bigfoot have big feet for a reason. It's called balance. Sanders says, Ruthless, Orson Welles, yes, the radio show was so awesome. And Timmy Boy says, that's why it's hilarious, Lockbeard. It's nothing. It's nothing. Hit a tree and wait just like everyone else. So let me get this straight. So I go to the woods and I hit a tree. And then, so how many, so if I knock once, what is the response that I'm supposed to hear? Because I really haven't paid him no mind on his his single knock theory. Ruthless says, Sandra, the TV version will be better. Well, they've done 2 movies of War of the Worlds. Wasn't too bad, I guess. I mean, if there are some aliens out there that are capable of saving all the life on Earth, and I actually find that comforting. Because we're not doing a good job of that. We're the shit. Team Boy says, just telling the truth, and I try to be respectful, but there are people that don't deserve that respect, Ernie. So what am I, because I know I heard him say it before, but I kind of dismissed the shit out of him. So you knock once, and then what do you hear? I'm so leaving an opening for somebody here. But Tim Boy says, and thanks, Ernie, I appreciate you. Tall One's here, welcome. He says, Patrick tried to get me to prove his wood knock hypothesis for him. I told him to prove it himself since he has an 80% success rate after almost a year. Still nothing. Moving on from his claims. So what's his claim? So I knock once. So I initiate conversation here, right? Then what? Then what happens? Ruthless says, yes, but when it's shown as news, it'll be different kettle of fish invasion. Chessboard says, Lockbeard, why in the hell would aliens want a planet with 90% morons? Exactly. But you know, let's say we went out in the universe. Let's say an asteroid came that was big enough to completely knock the Earth out of orbit, right? Earth is completely gone. There ain't no fixing it. It's not even here anymore. And humans had just enough time to put, 100,000 people on a gigantic spaceship and then to venture out into space and look for a place that they could live. Yeah, a lot of people might say, well, they'd stop at Mars. They'd try to terraform Mars. Well, sure. But what if they determined that Mars was never going to be able to support an ecosystem again? That for whatever reason, it's too far from the sun, or it's not the right size, or something. They determine it's just not going to work, and their best bet is to leave and go out into the universe and find a new planet that is suitable for humans. So in that scenario, if humans fly to a system somewhere that has a planet that fits the bill and it's full of 90% morons, they may want that planet. And they may look at all those morons and decide, you know what, screw these guys, we're going to off them all. So maybe they go down and catch a few of them, do some tests, and figure out that a way to kill them from orbit. And that's what they will do. They're not going to go down on the planet and try to wage war. They're going to find a way to kill them from space. Maybe they go grab a big asteroid and come in close and then nudge it over so it's going to hit the planet. And then they just got to wait a little while for the dust to settle and then go down and claim their prize. I can see where there could possibly be a scenario like that, but I also have this feeling that there is probably a governmental structure on that level, on the galactic level. Like a bunch of older civilizations have gotten together and said, hey, basically a Star Trek type of prime directive thing. It just seems like it's probably the case. Like there's a group of civilizations say, look, you can't just go and be wiping out young intelligent species like that. Now how enforceable such a rule would be, I don't know, but it just seems like that's what I would do if I was on that level. If I was part of the leadership of some multi-planetary union. That'd be one of the things that I think would be perfectly logical. Like, look, we value life, and we especially value intelligent life, and we can't just have these crazy ass aliens over here going around other planets and killing a bunch of intelligent people. We need to protect people, primitive peoples, allow them to develop without being molested by some freaking technologically advanced species that just wants to eat them or take their planet or wipe them out or whatever their motivation is. I see no reason to doubt that some of these same issues we've seen on Earth amongst human cultures that would not extend to space. So at least I think it's probably a logical conclusion. As far it's just a guess, there's no way to prove it, but that there probably is such an organization that has such a rule, and that we may be protected. The fact that we're still here after all these thousands of years and aliens, as far as we know, we have no proof of this, that aliens have ever come here and just purposely jacked with us. We're still here. So that's supporting. It's not proof at all, but it's supporting of the idea. Squatching Cowboy is here. It's gonna run the hooligans out of town. Jay says, if all the lady aliens look like Sophia Loren, I'll go with them easily. Really? Sophia Loren, huh? Let me see if we can find ourselves. Did she play an alien in something at some point? Let me see here. I'm trying to share the screen. Bam. Tall One says, I'm moving on from all his claims, every single one. Ernie says, always good to see you, Brent. Chessboard says, hello. feeling good. Team Boy says, you have no idea what is knocking back unless you see them do it. And if you see them knock, film it. It makes no sense. Well, yeah, but so if I knock once, do they knock back at me? What do they knock once back at me? Is that what the deal is? Like, that's what I'm trying to find out. Like, I knock once, what happens then? Do they knock back? Do they knock 3 times? Do they run out and try to hump me? What's going to happen? According to Patrick Vaughn, I still can't sit up very long without the neck hurting. Oh, that sucks, man. What did you do to your neck? I don't know about all that knocking business. Yeah, me too. I mean, it's within the realm of possibility, but I'm waiting for somebody to prove some shit. Team Boy says, I saw the show where you told him that the tall ones. Brent says, I have a hard time vetting out wood knocks. Not sure what's making them ones I've experienced. Chessboard says, Lockbeard, what kind of chaos would ensue if the know-it-alls told us, yes, there is intelligent life and Mars was once inhabited? I don't know. They told us that that UFOs were real and like hardly anyone noticed. I think people are so numb at this point from all the movies and stuff and video games and like your average person on the street gives 0 shits. In fact, I bet if you went and did one of those deals where you ask people on the street, has the government ever admitted to knowing that UFOs are real? Half those people would probably aren't even aware of the government announcement. How much you want to bet? I mean, it's just, Squash Cowboy says, Andrew Doctor seems to think a disc in my neck is pinching a nerve. That sucks. Brent says, it didn't help much, Timmy. He won't prove anything unless he talks about anything he talks about. Always pushing the goal post back further. A waste of time after a while. Team Boy says, look up when she was 25 to 28. Fine as a frog hair. Scotch Cowboy had back surgery, 66. But still have a problem. I'm not careful. All best to you. Tall One says, Patrick thinks each knock represents a different behavior. If you get something like 6 wood knocks, you're in trouble. 0 proof of anything with an 80% success rate. 80%, huh? How does he quantify that? Like, so you knock once, and then you get, so if you get 6 knocks, are they equally spaced time? Knock, 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 and so on? Or is it like knock, 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 knock? Is it, does any kind of timing matter in the knockback? Sanders says, I hate to hear this. I know you're hurting. Can't sit, lay, stand very long, no matter what. Yeah. Ernie says, didn't Iron Dogger verify Patrick Vaughn's knocking theory? Well, he claims, but Iron Dogger also jumped over to Bigfoot Odyssey, which is known to, by most people that are willing to hear it, and understand it, that's a haven of bullshit. Bigfoot Odyssey is a haven of bullshit. You got, so much bullshit over there. If she wanted to stay on the more logical side of the subject, she would have stayed on Moog's show. So what's the motivation? Why did Bigfoot Odyssey invite her over? Where's the percentage? Do they figure they would get some of her fans to come with her? he needs to pick someone else that I don't feel betrayed the logical side of the subject on YouTube and to verify. Which, how's she verifying? You know, how are you verifying anything? How do you even know that's what's knocking back at you? If I knock once and I hear one knock back, well, is he mistaken the echo? Is he just hearing echoes? Maybe he knocks once and there's a tree, there's a hill here and a hill further over there, and the echoes take different amounts of time to come back to him. So he hears two different echoes from the same one knock. He hears two knocks and he thinks he got a response, but really what he got was a couple of echoes. I don't know. What is Rutha says, yeah. Oh, you're not familiar with this whole thing? Oh, shit. Cindy says, Joe, that's the worst pain when nerve is being pinched. Rutha says, oh, shit. Gotta deal with a power situation here. Rutha says, aqua aerobics for pinched nerve walking helps. You have perforated L4. Jay says, got the same thing going on with my neck, Ruger. Doc said, no way, no how. Tallman says, I'm not sure about the knock timing. I quit paying attention to his claims long ago. Chessport says, Ruthless, no, 3 times on the pipe if the answer is no. Team Boy says, how credible is Iron Dogger in your opinions? Well, I mean, I don't know. She jumped over the bullshit Odyssey is all I know. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know that she has any particular verification of anything or even of her. You know, I don't know. I mean, all I know is she jumped ship over to Bigfoot Odyssey, and that was a bad move. It's a bad move. And so, I mean, if she's claiming the wood knocks work, I'm just not feeling any reason to take it at face value. So that credibility's got to be earned somehow. I don't know what form that takes, but it's just got to be earned. But step one would be getting the hell out of Bigfoot Odyssey. Tall one says, hey, Joe, try using a float tank. It's amazing. There's a point you don't know where your body ends and the water begins. Patty says, 80% of the time, it works every time. Rutha says, just for one pipe answer should do it. That's why I put on it. That's why I put LOL on it. Float tank, zero gravity allows the body to heal itself. Damn, that sounds good, he says. Yeah, a lot of people swear by float tanks. I don't know how much inflammation plays into it, but inflammation, damn near everybody's got inflammation from what they're eating. And you've heard me say it before. If you're eating anything that isn't meat, you're getting inflammation. You know, you just are. If you try a zero carb and preferably all meat diet for a while, you may notice, you will notice, guaranteed, massive results in a lot of different things. lot of people find this hard to believe. Who was it that went on someone else's show and said I guess he heard me talking about that and he tried it and it fixed a bunch of stuff for him? I'm drawing a blank on who it was now. I'm not a doctor, but it's been a goal of mine for decades now to find the most optimal diet for the human animal. What are we designed to eat? And what we're designed to eat, well, really, it's gone, right? We only got, well, not really poor, but like deer, elk, moose, cattle, goat. These things are pretty decent substitutes. But what we're really supposed to eat is woolly mammoths, mastodons, woolly rhinos, giant armadillos, a number of different species of giant ground sloth, big freaking camels, all these 160 different species at least of megafauna. Our species specialized in killing and eating for many thousands of years. That's what we're designed to eat. And people find it hard to believe because they've been told their whole lives, oh, you need a balanced diet. Balanced diet. What the hell is a balanced diet for a freaking lion, right? You're going to tell a lion to eat a balanced diet? No, you're going to tell him eat meat because that's what lions eat. You're going to tell a cow to eat balanced diet? No, you're going to tell the cow to eat grass because that's what cows eat. Balanced diet. Somebody should find the moron that came up with that whole idea and slap them. There ain't no balanced diet. There is a proper diet for the creature that you're talking about. And the proper diet for humans is meat, especially raw, aged meat. Aged. And there's a number of different things that prove that. And one of them has to do with our stomach acid. We have the stomach acid that you would see in scavengers. And also coprovores, but we're not supposed to eat shit. We're not a coprovore. We're designed to eat meat that's been laying around a while. And so we had to deal with that. In the early days when we weren't great hunters, we were oftentimes stealing the kills of other animals. And a lot of times all we could get out of that kill was what was in the bones. So that's why animal brain is like, if there's a superfood out there, it's animal brain and marrow. Because a lot of times that's the only time we could get the kill was when that was almost everything was gone except that, and it had been sitting around for a while. So it's aged brain, aged marrow. Now most people are not going to eat that, but you can get closer to that, right? And then later on, when we became good hunters, we started learning to kill these gigantic animals. And so you kill a mastodon, you're not eating that tonight. You're eating that for the next few weeks. And it's laying there. And you're eating on it until it's no longer, it's covered in maggots or whatever. Now, later on, they learned cooking and stuff like that. That's not a good idea. Everyone tries to, cooking makes it more digestible. Where'd you hear that bullshit again? Along with all the other bullshit you heard? Broccoli's supposed to be healthy for you. Stuff like that. Broccoli's not healthy for you. You survive it. You can fill your stomach with it if you want, but it's not healthy for you. That's just absolute total bullshit. And anyone that takes time to look close enough will see and understand why. They tell you, oh, well, it's got these vitamins in there. Oh, how much do you really get out of it? How much can you absorb? And what about, and they're like, oh, it cures cancer. No, it doesn't cure cancer. You're basically taking a kind of type of chemo. There's a substance in the broccoli and cabbage and Brussels sprouts called sulforaphane. It's a poison. It's what it is. It's a poison designed to keep things from eating it. The broccoli don't want you to eat it, right? Plants can't run, so their defense system is often chemical. Talmer says, use a float tank with the lights out and lid shut. You lose your sensory perception. Talmer says, most insurance companies will cover it as it's used more for treatment. Team Boy says, Tall Ones saw you on a lost Cryptic about a month ago. Salt last night. Good stuff, man. Tall one shits. What? Tall one. The water is body temperature filled with Epsom salt, which makes you float. Tall one says no rookies in the float tank. Dookies. Jay says, later, folks, I'm starving, going to get something to eat. I'm out of here. See you later, man. Chessboard says, tall ones, those unlit keyboards are the pits. Yeah. What thoughts of meats? Mainly red meat, fatty red meat. There's a channel out there. The guy's goofy as hell. He's trying to entertain. I really picture him being like on Broadway or something. But he's a carnivore advocate, and he's got some of the best information I've seen on YouTube anyway. Called Frank Tufano, and so I want to pull up his page, I guess. And he's actually experimented some on his channel with they call it high meat, which is slightly rotten meat, right? You purposely let it go bad. And so he's experimented with it, but it's not most people's cup of tea. Most people aren't going to try that. I'm not even going to try to push people to do that. But they call it high meat because people say when they eat it, they feel so good it's almost like being high. And but yeah, there's Frank Tufano's channel. There's some others out there. Sean Baker, but he doesn't try to encourage people to eat organ meats or anything like that. He just eats just beef. I think he said he eats, I don't know, was it 2 or 4 pounds, something like that a day. When I'm eating just meat, I pretty much live on about a pound a day, the fatty red meat. Just because I'm not hungry. I'm just not hungry. And presumably that's for a number of reasons. The carbs aren't causing a hormonal reaction. It makes you eat more. You're also getting all the nutrition that your body needs, so it isn't asking for more. Hunger doesn't really have a whole lot to do with how much is in your stomach. It's what your body is your body's trying to get something. It wants you to eat because you're low on something. Unfortunately, it can't make you eat the right thing most of the time. You're not an animal. I'm a meat popsicle. Fifth Element reference. Tallman says, not sure I can get woolly mammoth at my local Friggard Myers. No. Unfortunately. Hopefully, I hope one day we're able to revive the species, though, and then the hunt can once again happen. It's a long way off, though. Take a long time to get up adequate populations of them that people could hunt them again. Chrissy says, carnivore definitely helped me drop 25 pounds quickly. Back to eating normal again with exercise, but that will be my go-to for every pre-summer shed. Yeah. I watch every year in a gym, man. People go in, they'll bust their ass doing all this cardio and shit and trying to eat, calorie control. They do the whole calorie control thing. If you go carnivore, don't even think about as long as you're just eating meat, you do not have to think about how many calories you're putting in. Caveman didn't think about how many calories they were putting in. And so why are we sitting here trying to think like we can, put numbers to this? There's no numbers to put to it. Just eat what humans are naturally supposed to eat, and you will lean up and you will be in a natural, healthy condition. That happen to any animal. We feed our dogs. This dog food is loaded with corn, and then nobody's asking the question, why are dogs getting diabetes? Why are dogs getting overweight? Well, probably it's what you're feeding them. And just give your dog meat. Dogs are supposed to eat meat, not dog food. There's no dog food out there that I'm aware of on the market that is 100% animal products. Most of them, the first ingredient is corn. And dogs are not supposed to eat corn. Squatch Cowboy says they were completely sold out of woolly mammoth at the butcher's yesterday. I have no doubt of that. Timmy Boy says, let me run out and get a woolly mammoth. I'll be right back. Missed my cars, but it was doable. Yeah. Yeah. It's harder for some people than others because carbs are a hard drug for humans. It really is an addiction, and it varies how hard it is for some people to break. Heading out, getting ready for Nikki's show. Yep. We'll all be over there at Nikki's in a few minutes, I'm sure. Most people here will be. Sheet brains are yum, says Ruthless. Fifth Elements, yep. Have 10 minutes, Brent, says Joe. The fuck? I won't eat them. I eat chicken hearts. That works. Chicken hearts good eating. Helm to 108. Yep. Fifth Element, pretty cool movie. Livers and Gizzards. That's a no on Gizzard, Tim. Livers, yes. Yeah, man, gizzards are too damn chewy, man. If they could somehow cook it to where it would, be falling apart, it's like brisket. Like most of the time, I don't want to eat your damn brisket. I don't want to eat it. It's too damn tough. I want something more tender. But sometimes you can cook it well, corned beef, where you put it in that crock pot and it gets to where it's tender enough and falls apart. And going to get up and shake my tail feathers and aggravate some mean dogs. All right, have fun. We'll be quitting here in a few minutes and heading over to Nikki's. Fish oil lowers risk and helps cancer from spreading. Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, because humans spend a lot of time, like that's the whole aquatic ape thing. We talked about that some on an episode of this about the aquatic ape theory and how part of why we started when we went from being like chimpanzees only eating like 3 to 4% of their diet is meat, and then just running with it is part of it. I feel we can only guess because it's hard to know exactly what happened, but it appears that part of the road was aquatic in nature, and we were eating a lot of stuff from the sea. So we that's why seafood is so healthy for us. And the iodine issue, right? Iodine is kind of scarce inland. You kind of have to go to the sea to get it for the most part, or at least to get adequate levels. So, that's another one of the lines of evidence that we have some part of our development was sea oriented. We were along the shore a lot, and we still do. We still gravitate towards the shore at all times. Most people don't know why they want to go to the beach, or they want to go to the river, or they want to go to the lake. Well, we're driven to be there. It's part of our development. So, you need some iodine supplement if you're not getting enough in your diet. This particular one, as you can see, has two forms, iodine and iodide. So it's probably not a bad idea that like in general, I would probably tell people humans aren't meant to get their nutrition from supplements. We're meant to get our nutrition from some damn meat. But if you're worried about, say your meat, if you cook all your meat, you destroy pretty much all the vitamin C in meat. Yes, there is vitamin C in meat. If you eat anything but meat, the vitamin C has a hard time getting absorbed, so that's an issue. And then also, if you cook all your meat, you're not even getting enough vitamin C from it. So you probably want to have this, and iodine is probably your two that you may need to combat those kinds of issues, because a lot of people aren't willing, so I've had people see me eating my steak. It's so damn rare, it's more than just a normal rare steak. It's pretty much a raw steak, just seared really quick on the outside. Some people can't even stand to look at it. So if you can't do it, then you're gonna have to get some vitamin C, and if you're not a seafood eater, you're gonna have to go get some iodine supplement or something to make sure you're getting enough. Just where it says, "Hey boy, my son is good friends with his sister and told me about his condition. Sad it is." What condition is that? Timbo says, "Yep, long live John McClane." All right, well, Nikki's going to be on in about 5-6 minutes. So we should probably just wrap her up here, and I'll see a lot of you over there. Any final words from anybody? Nope.
Damn good show.
Bruce Willis, he says. Yep, that was a good movie.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
See you later, Timmy, Sandra, Chessboard, Ruthless, everybody. Thanks for coming, and see you next time.